Putting a dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
Sensitive/offensive content disclaimer. Please note that this podcast may contain material that some listeners may find sensitive, offensive, or disturbing. We strive to create respectful and informative content, but topics discussed may include mature themes such as violence, explicit language, or controversial subjects, triggering content including discussions related to mental health, trauma, or other sensitive issues, explicit language. Occasionally, our guests or hosts may use strong language. While we aim to handle these topics with care and empathy, we encourage listeners to exercise discretion. If you find any content distressing, consider skipping or seeking support. Remember that this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice. If you need assistance, please consult a qualified expert.
Bam. All right. Hello. Happy Tuesday. It's actually not Tuesday, but we're pre-recording. Okay. It's summer. We got trips planned and stuff. So we're pre-recording. It's actually a Thursday today, but we're just going to pretend it's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. And welcome to Mr. Mayhem again with Lisa and Lisa.
That new intro gets me every time. How they put the disclaimer, John, if you're listening, but you may be traumatized by our show.
I laugh. It's like we are not trained professionals. We don't when we cuss. We talk about all kinds of random shit. And sorry if you don't like it. Just log on. I mean, it's okay.
There's no more biting our tongues.
No, thank God, because that was rough. I mean, I would have like the biggest anxiety before those other podcasts where we really kind of had to, be careful what we say.
Well, you stayed on the naughty list. You lived on the naughty list.
I was always in trouble. Side note, I was always getting like, Lisa, I'm like, I know, I'm sorry. I really do try. It just comes out. I don't know. So it's all whatever. But I guess when this does air, it'll be, August 2nd or August 1st? Tuesday, whatever.
First Tuesday in August.
I don't know. Sometime in August, this will be airing.
Yeah, summertime.
I'm here, so
we'll be at the beach.
Pre-record. Yes, I'm going to be on the beaches of Florida. I'm so excited. Yeah. I cannot wait. It's our annual summer Florida trip, so I'm just ready to get out of here for a little bit and enjoy some non-work stuff. So, we've been busy at the jail, and it's always stuff going on. So just busy.
Before we jump to our guest that we were able to snag for today, what's going on with the movie? I know they finished up. We touched on it a little bit last time. For those that missed, what's the name of the movie that was filmed there? Where can people find it?
Had a production crew come and shot a movie, a couple scenes at the jail. It's going to be coming out soon. I will definitely keep y'all posted on, when it's coming out. But it's called On American Soil. So you can go, I know they've got a Facebook page and they have stuff on YouTube as well. So if you want to go check out like a trailer of it, it's an amazing film. They did an amazing job on this. And I can't wait to see, the jail in the background and some of the scenes. And so it's going to be really cool. But again, it's On American Soil is what it's called. And
that down.
And our new roof is great because with all this effing rain that we've had lately. It's been a great test for the jail, and
Yeah,
I'm
I forgot
happy
to
to
put that new roof
we
on.
are leak free, so that's always a big plus. So yeah, get your bookings in. You don't have to worry about any water upstairs. So yeah, we're good. It's been very busy. So we've been a busy summer so far. And like I said, I'm ready to have some vacation time and not do anything for like 7 days. So what's going on with you? Anything exciting?
Not much. Same old here. Yeah, I can't say anything exciting. I'm just ready for football season. You know that.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
It's coming
I'm
up.
ready for some football.
Oh, not soon enough.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
I
we need
know.
to get John-John on here. So we were
Yeah.
able to see like John-John. I have investigated with him. I'm interested to see if he's been to the jail before. So spooky boy there. I've investigated at a Belton bookstore with him. He's the lead investigator. His fiance investigates with him. For those that don't know him, we'll get into that more. And he does storm chasing. Pretty cool.
Cool.
And
Oh,
then,
how fun. Oh, neat. Very cool.
yeah. And then an amazing photographer, does a lot of art stuff. So without further, we need to bring John-John on.
Bam.
John-John, get you to the center here.
Thank you.
So-
Thank you for pre-recording with us on this Thursday afternoon at 1:30, a random time. Thank you so much for being available for us. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you.
You guys got the new mustache today.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what you're going to have for the wedding?
Me too.
No.
I saw you were trying on tuxes and getting all excited because it's coming up.
Yeah, I was trying, I don't know if you ever heard this, I guess it's like a training weight loss thing. It's called the 72 hard or something like that, where it's just for 72 days. It's 2 workouts for 45 minutes, and then you have to drink a gallon of water each day for 72 days, and then read a certain amount of pages, and then there's a whole bunch of other stuff that you got to do with it. So like, been trying to do that, but man, it's like I've gained muscle, but I haven't lost weight. So like, I started my job that I work at like at 230 something like that, and I was like, okay, maybe that's a little bit too heavy. So then when I started this training, I put on the training app to lift heavy so I can gain more muscle. And then like literally yesterday, I'm at 249 pounds, and that's how much muscle mass I've gained. And I'm like, maybe I overdid it. So I'm like, okay, well, and then I tried to jog yesterday, and oh my gosh, it literally felt like I was carrying like so much extra weight, and literally I barely made it through that first lap, and I'm like, it felt like my heart was just pounding out of my chest, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And as you know, I mean, if you remember, I used to do boxing and stuff like that, so cardio was never a problem. But man, yesterday,
you're getting older, John. You are no longer a young one.
I know.
I know you're not. You can't be that far off from me because you've got kids.
Yeah, I mean, last time I was boxing, I was like 22, and I'm 44 now. So that's how long ago.
Yeah. I'm 44.
Oh yeah. I got you.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, like too, muscle weighs more than fat, so you have to look at it that way. So that's a positive thing. So.
Oh yeah.
So John, let's just jump right into it. So the name of your group is Dark Knight, or Dark Explorers. I'm sorry, Dark Explorers Paranormal.
Batman. I'm not Batman. What the hell?
I know. I've got a 5-year-old son. Okay.
Yeah.
Where everything goes with Batman, Spider-Man. I think there really is one called Dark Knight, though. I don't know. Which would be kind of cool.
Could be.
Yeah. So we had met investigating at the bookstore. What's the history behind you? Is that the first place? Where did you start investigating? How did you get into this? Because I know I met you there, but I know you had been investigating some time prior to that.
Yeah. Well, as far as like starting as the paranormal journey, I literally was born into this. So like when I say that, I meant like my parents and then my grandparents. They were all, I don't know if you ever heard of the Spanish word curanderos, but they were healers. So they dealt with this, and they dealt with witchcraft and all the other aspects of paranormal, and not just like I'm gonna go chase ghosts, but they actually handled other people's problems and became other people's problems and all this other stuff. So, I grew up into that. So I kind of knew, like, I was used to like shadows running around, things falling over, jumping on top of the bed, hearing weird noises. So that kind of stuff was always just, I guess it was just ingrained into me. So I really didn't think anything of it. But as I got older, the more I wanted to know, and that's when the actual paranormal thing started to, infuse itself. So understanding, the scientific area of it, devices and all this other stuff. And, back then you had a tape recorder and probably a little camera that the IR only shot off to like maybe a foot in front of you. So you really couldn't see shit or anything like that. So,
Right.
I mean, nowadays, it's so the equipment's just so just darn crazy, but also darn expensive. And, you just can't afford it. Anyways, but yeah, I kind of just took that on as far as like family, history and everything like that. And then the path that I'm on now, what I do now as far as the healing is concerned, I kind of took that page from my dad because he would always be the one that people would call for him to go and, pray over, to cleanse a house, to get rid of entities, to get rid of that type of stuff. So when he had passed away, I kind of took on that role for my family and decided, well, I'm just going to go and help out other families as well. So my start was like a very, very, very young. And like I said, it was just something that I grew up into and then evolved, of course, by understanding more of the paranormal and more of the other aspects of things and not just that one-sided, because that's all I really knew growing up was just that aspect of things. But,
what year did your dad pass?
oh, I'm bad with dates. I think it was like 5-6 years ago. Something like
So
that.
this is kind of recent.
And yeah.
Sorry, I had an itch in my leg. I was not trying to dip out on you.
What are you doing up there? And then your fiance is involved in the group,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah,
she does more. Does she do cleansings? What does she do?
So with Jordan, she's had abilities since she was young, but just like how, I mean, we're all of age here, so to speak. So we're above 35-ish. So like,
Not me.
with people our ages, the paranormal back then when we were like teenagers, it wasn't so popular back then. And if you even dare say that, hey, I think there's something in my room to a friend, right away they think that you're freaking crazy or some shit. That's not like, oh, let's go on TikTok live and go to your room. It was none of that bullshit.
Schizophrenic.
Yeah. So like with her, she had abilities, but her parents were not very acknowledgeable to it. So, she didn't really understand anything. She just knew that she had something, but didn't know what. So then when we actually started dating, it was kind of like a cold plunge because like you already knew of all people, like I handle a lot of cases, so when she actually got involved with me, I literally told her like, you don't know what you're getting yourself into because like you're literally jumping into the deep end like right away because I mean I've been doing it for such a long time and I already know what type of cases I'm looking for. The darker cases what I specialize in, and they're not meant for everyday people, the stuff that I take on. So like for her to jump on in with me, it was a quick like, okay, you're gonna learn, you're gonna fight, what's it called? How do you say that? The fight or flight type of thing.
Right.
So right away, I mean, she started to learn herself. She started to learn her abilities, and in the short time that she has been with me, it's a big lesson because the first year that she was with me was the heaviest year I had in cases, and we did 120 cases in 1 year.
Wow.
And then for her to jump in as a second-year investigator, I mean that all the experienced case compared to experienced years it's over. For some people it's a little bit overwhelming, but she got to see firsthand what type of people that we deal with on a daily basis, when either they have mental health or they're struggling with some drugs, I can't even talk right now because I'm talking too fast. They're struggling with other things that are going on in their life. So she kind of got to see firsthand, like, hey, this is not all just paranormal. There's other things involved in it.
Yeah.
But when you scrap off everything else and all there is something unexplainable, that's when we step in and try to figure out what's going on. So the amount of time that she's been with me, I mean, she's gotten a lot of experience firsthand, and deep right away. I mean, there's some things there that she's just. I mean, she even experienced her first exorcism, and she got to see it firsthand, and she was part of the praying, community there. So, I mean, and then she actually performed a minor rite on her own, because I wasn't there, and I was taking photos at a party, and I was doing some shots and everything like that, enjoying myself. And next thing you know, I get a text message like, "Holy shit, this just happened," and blah blah. I was like, "Well, welcome." Welcome to the Black Parade.
I'll take a shot for you.
Yeah, I'll take one for you.
Now, how do you strip it? Because like I've only been, so I used to work with this demonologist out of Fort Worth, and he did cases all the time. He had brought us in a group that I was in at the time to do an investigation for him prior. But this guy he was schizophrenic, but he wasn't taking his meds. But then you had also other layers, like you mentioned, where he was worshiping the devil. He was inviting them in, and he was doing these things. Of course, he had a kid at home. There was just all these layers to it. How do you figure that out, and how to help them? And I mean, because like you said, there's other components to it, like the drugs and.
Yeah, I mean, our first thing is it's a little bit harder from my end because I'm the one that's receiving all the phone calls. I'm the one that's receiving all the messages from these cases. As much as I like to walk in cold, I sometimes can't. But on her end, I don't tell her shit. I'm just like, hey, we're going to Dallas. That's it. Let's go. But for me, I listen to the family. I try to get the basic stuff, and for me, it's basic. For other teams, it might not be basic, but for me, I have a checklist. Okay, they're seeing shadows, they're hearing voices, they're doing all that other stuff, and for me, that's a basic thing. I mean, that's one thing that we always get is all those. For other teams, they may be like, "Oh shit, you're seeing shadow figures." For me, I'm like, "Yeah, okay, that's just one thing of all things happening there." Once I get to the home, I introduce myself and I just ask them to show me around so I know what the layout of the house is, and I have a notebook that I always keep with me, and I start, Lisa's house on the date, 7th time, and I mark down the time. And the first room I would go, it would be Lisa's bedroom, and I would just put down Lisa's bedroom, and I'll just sit in there. And as things come to me and talk to me, I'm just writing down every single thing. And I go from room to room to room to room. And at the end, because me and Jordan do it at the same time, but we do it in different parts of the house. So I'll start in one area and she'll start in the other area. And by the time we get together, we don't see each other. We don't talk to each other until we get to the client. And once we sit down with the client, we actually talk to them about what's going on. Now, at that point, we start peeling back some of the stuff that we get. Now, I think we're in the high 90s percentile when we get the things going on in the house that's correct. Now, when we tell them like, hey, we know when you got secrets because things are just talking to us, and that's when the drug abuse comes out. That's when either something is going on in the family as far as abuse is concerned, or maybe they're depressed and all this other stuff. But whatever it is, we're marking them down, and we'll sit there and talk to them. Now, from that point, we kind of just go on and then talk to them about what's going on and what's needs to be done. We do give them like, okay, this what needs to happen in your house, but it's up to you if you want us to continue in that. It's up to you if you want the prayer. It's up to you if you want any advice, or maybe you just want to know whatever's there. That's up to them. Now, if they do it, they take it. Okay, cool. If they don't, well, save my number because you're going to need it. But once that happens, and let's just say like a parent is calling us, once we get into a home, we can see signs. They're either pacing back and forth, acting erratically, or just being spontaneous. Once that happens, we'll sit there and try to talk to them. And I mean, me and Jordan have a good personality to where people just want to, open up to us and just talk about whatever it is that they have in their mind, whatever they're going through, and they'll literally just talk to us and stuff that they wouldn't even tell their own parents or their partner, and they're like, I didn't know you were going through this. And they're like, yeah, I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling this, and and we try to help them out as much as possible. As far as in the beginning of your intro, the professionals and all those other stuff. I'm not really a professional, but I've handled enough cases to actually tell you, hey, we've seen this before, but you can do this, or I've seen this before, and here's a number that you can call from a person that can actually help you. Whether it be you're on drugs, or maybe there's something that you just want somebody to listen to you. And most of the time, it's literally just that. Like, they're going through so much, it feels like they don't have nobody to talk to. But then we sit down in front of them, and we actually listen to them. And by the time we are done with the investigation, I swear it's like probably like 85% just talking to them and them talking to us. And it is like a big release for them. And they just walk away feeling so much better because, hey, this person understands me, and he doesn't think I'm crazy because I'm seeing ghosts and they actually believe me. Or I'm hearing this and they're actually believing me. So, we still got their phone numbers and all that other stuff. And every once in a while, I'll get a message or whatever saying, hey, I'm seeing this again. Can you help me out? And yeah, we'll give them a call. We'll send them a text message or whatever it is. But, most of the time we try to do what we can within our own power, so to speak. And, we're not going to sit there and be like, yeah, I'm a psychiatrist and all this other shit. We're not going to do that, but we will try to help you out as far as what our experience has been, and guide you towards that direction where you can get help. I just bit my tongue.
You're a bit of a therapist in addition to an investigator, basically.
So do you travel all over doing this? Or do you like to stay in your area?
We try. We try to stay in Texas, but
yeah.
I personally, before Jordan got on, I've had cases in Louisiana and Oklahoma and stuff like that I used to go do. But when Jordan got on, we kind of stayed in the Texas area, and we went all the way up to the Panhandle, all the way down to freaking.
But I say Texas is big enough. So.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is. So pretty much. But yeah, we cover all the state of Texas. At least we try to. So we're all over the place.
Very good.
And so people that have cases or whatever, you've got a website still, right? It has testimonials, contact information, and tour dates and events. Do you have anything coming up? As
of right now, we're not doing anything until we're married and
get the wedding package
and delivered and get that over with. And
that's a lot planning a wedding.
Yeah, because like our wedding's in October, which is that's the height of normal tours and all this other stuff. And
that's when that girl thing.
We just didn't want to do anything this year. We were just like, we're gonna stay low key, and we even took a step back with residential cases. So it was just, and literally in true fashion, we said no more cases, and then 2 days later, we get hit with like 4 or 5, and I'm like, oh my god.
Now, what about public? What's a public place you have not been that's on your list to go to still?
Public places that I have not. There's a lot. The only thing is I'm trying to find something that actually scares me.
Have you been to my jail yet?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I've seen. We're Facebook friends, so I've seen you post on there and stuff like that. But I haven't been.
Yeah, you definitely need to come out. It's it's an amazing place for sure. So very creepy, very historic.
Kind of towards Yorktown.
Yeah.
Huh?
It's kind of near Yorktown, that direction.
Okay. That direction? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I said I have to check it out.
Yeah, definitely. And another cool location that's not far from us either, in Victoria, is the Sixth Realm House. A friend of mine owns that, and it's a historic home, and they filled it with all kinds of haunted, creepy items. And I'm actually going to be investigating there Saturday, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. So
that's cool.
But no, you definitely need to come to the jail and
yeah, there's not too many places that frighten me at all. With residentials, you'll see anything and everything, and the crazies and non-crazies, and
yep.
holy shit, this person is shooting up right here in front of me, and I'm like, okay, So
Yeah.
like,
Speaking of which, that same demonology case I was telling you about, he
Yeah.
actually pulled a gun on us.
I had a gun put on me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've pulled a gun on someone before, but I haven't pulled on me.
That's what we're like backing out. And I was like, yeah, I'm done with this case. I'm pulling out from this case.
Yeah, I had a gun pull out on me. I found a bunch of knives in the house one day when I was trying to cleanse the house. I wrestled with somebody on the floor. Almost fought a couple of people, because they were just being all in my face and all in the other investigators' face. I mean, drove into like did back in the wood area, and only to find skulls and everything all over the yard and everything like that. And I'm like, okay, so I think we just entered the twilight zone here. So like,
Yeah.
So I mean, trying to find a legit place that's actually like gives me the vibes. Yeah, it gives me the rush. It's almost like being in front of a tornado. It's like you got to give me that. It's got to give me that rush.
Yeah. Do you still get the rush from your storm chasing?
Oh yeah, I mean this. I don't know if you heard, but the one that hit Temple. What was it? I think last week.
Yeah.
So me and Jordan chase that one, but every once in a while I get like the vibes from it. So like there's a lot of storms that come through here, but every once in a while I'll get like a little tingling, so to speak, and I'm like, that's the one that we need to go chase. So like the 2 years before this, where that famous commercial of that tornado hitting that Chevy truck and it was floating. Okay,
Yes.
so we almost got hit by that one. So like that's the one I got the tingles on. I was like, oh, we need to go chase that. So we take off to like Bartlett, and then we hit the back roads going up towards Gerald. And then when it was coming down, we were going up, and we were going to actually cross and hit it. And then I was like, no, I'm going to turn around. And when I turned around, it was rain wrapped, and I noticed it, but this was Jordan's first time being with me. So she didn't know any of the signs, but I knew like 50 yards away or 100 yards away, there was literally that tornado right there. And you could see like the power lines going like this. And I'm trying not to panic because we're in my little small car. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to drive slow here and drive calmly, because if I overreact, I know she's going to see that and it's going to be, oh shit.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, we survived that one. And
That
then
wasn't the Gerald one though.
No, that was the Gerald one. But then this past one, the Temple one, we went out towards. I don't know if you know where Greenhouse Sausage is at. Okay, so if you, I think it's 53. So if you go towards like Bucky's and a weird loop, there's like a bridge that you cross and it turns to the right going toward Marlin. So that's 53. So we hit there, and I wanted to take a better look at this tornado to see if anything was out there, because I just had a feeling. So I started looking at the radar, and I started seeing it. And I was like, oh, there's something out there. And then all of a sudden I look up, and I'm seeing all these power flashes going on because the tornado's coming through. And I'm like, okay, let's go. We're going to go chase it. So I went forward. And as I went forward, I guess I was waiting for all these semis passing by and everything like that. And by the time I knew it, it was like literally right in front of us. And I was like, no. So I did a U-turn and went back home to go to the back road. And then I seen a funnel cloud happening and forming right in front of us, and our car was getting sucked in. And I was like, oh shit. So I did another U-turn and went back on 53. And when I hit 53, that tornado was like right there on our left-hand side. And I swear I hit the gas, and I was probably going like maybe 90 or something like that. And when I hit the SPJST hall, I parked on the side of the building facing outward towards the road. And then you just seen the tornado just cut right in front of us, just like that. And the whole car was shaking and everything like that. I mean, the car that was sitting in front of us it literally just disappeared. And you see all the hail and everything hitting everything. And I told her, put on your seatbelt. And when I told her that, you just seen the whole thing go. Man, I have that video of, but man, that was, if a haunted house can give me that type of feeling, I'm like, okay, let's do that.
See, and I was gonna say, I will take the most haunted location ever by myself over any kind of storm chasing whatsoever. Like that to me is like, no way.
I think the lack of control, like with the tornado, like with, if it makes a turn or something, I don't know.
Yes,
I mean, that's why I can't get excited about anything haunted, because that adrenaline rush that I'm getting from a potential F2 or F3 tornado my heart is just like boom. But if I'm in a haunted house, I'm like, can you do something?
You're just desensitized at this point with the
Yeah, because I mean, I've been on other collaborations with other teams, and they'll hear like a somewhere, and they're like, "Oh my God, you hear that? Oh my God!" I mean, I'm like,
It's
okay.
out. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm kind of like, give me something bigger, but
yeah.
but not no tornadoes. Not that big.
I mean, I'll chase them regardless. If it's especially now if it's close by. I try to stay in closer. I'm not single anymore, so I can't drive all the way to freaking New Mexico, then drive up to Utah and Oklahoma all in one day trying to chase one system.
Right now, understood.
Yeah.
There was a couple locations that you had posted on YouTube. One was Katie House and was Watson House. I was curious about those because I didn't get time to watch them. But were they in Texas?
The Watson is it's in Texas, and the Katie House.
Oh, you don't even remember. Look, you do so many. You're like, yeah. I don't remember.
I'm trying the Watson.
I just need you to give us the history behind them and the location. And
I'm just trying to figure out which one's which right now. The Watson sounds so familiar. I'm trying to remember.
Go watch his YouTube. Is YouTube under Spooky Boy or is it under
Dark Explorers Paranormal? Okay. Yeah, I changed the whole thing from the Spooky Boy thing to Dark Explorers. So.
Okay, so we have to go to YouTube, see all the locations you've done, your investigations.
Yeah, I mean,
don't ask him. Just go watch the videos.
A lot of the stuff is all residential stuff, but I don't post any locations when it comes to residential things. But if I'm actually shooting at the Watson House, which I'm trying to figure out still where town was at, then I'll post it on there and make it more of like a 15, 20-minute show. I'm not trying to sit you down and keep you bored for 40 minutes and only 2 seconds of that is only haunted.
Right.
And yet one time you were talking about writing. Are you writing? Did you write anything or still thinking about it?
Dude. So like I came up with the concept and I'm like, okay, I need to figure this out. And then that's when I was messaging you. I'm like, how can you do this? And what's the format? And then I was messaging other people trying to figure out.
Yeah.
It's harder for me because I am not a person who sits down and reads books. So like then trying to sit down and write a book was just like, what the fuck? So I was like, boom.
Yeah. You really have to be in the mood. Like mine, and it was small. You've seen how small it was. And it took probably about 2 years because you really have to like just be in the zone and sit and want to write and have that itch.
Yeah. I mean, oh yeah. And and the whole ad, I mean, just trying to come up with the concept of like, okay, am I wanting to write about my experiences? Am I wanting to write about me growing up and then coming up into the paranormal? I mean, what aspect did I want to do?
I think that would be good though. The way you transitioned like with your dad and how you mentioned, kind of filling his role as he passed on. I think that would be really a really good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for me, I was just like, man, I wrote, I don't know how many first pages and I was like, I don't know which one's good. And I don't know which one, but then I listened to a couple of podcasts too on just trying to learn and how those authors learned how to like break that writing block wall. And all they just said is just write. It doesn't matter what format it is or anything like that. Just write it. And then once you feel comfortable at a stopping point, just kind of go back and figure out what you want to take out, all this other stuff, and just kind of build it. And of course, like you said, it takes years to do that. And I'm like, I don't know. I
made the mistake of putting so many cases in that first book, and they just, how much longer? When are you gonna be done? They just hounded me every freaking month, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this is not gonna be this. Don't ask me for like 2 years. 2 years.
Yeah. So right now, I am working on something, but it's more of a photographic book than anything else. Which is, I mean.
Like with your photography stuff or paranormal related or both?
Yeah, so like I have enough content to where I can cover my black and white photos that I really want to showcase. And then I have enough content from all the paranormal investigations and all that other stuff. I got enough content when I was urban exploring. I got enough content for storm chasing. I had no concept for like the modeling and all the music concerts, and I shoot. So like, which one do I really want to showcase? So I just decided, well, I am more passionate about the black and white photography because the National Geographic, was always something that I looked into, and you would flip through the pages and you can just see a photograph, and you could just with that photograph, you can just understand the story that's right there, that's in front of you without any of the words. So I kind of took that and put that with my black and white. So anything that I try to shoot, I try to tell the story. So like with this book that I might just say, this book that I'm putting together, it's called Viewfinder Stories. So it's pretty much I'm showing you the image that I'm going to write about, and I'm telling you the story of how everything came together for me and what it meant to me, what it meant to other people, because I've had people buy prints and stuff like that from me, and then tell me like this photograph gave me hope, or this photograph showed me a different way of life, or whatever it may be. So I'm kind of putting all that together, and I mean that has been a lot easier for me doing it that way.
Yeah, and it sounds like you have enough. I mean, for like 4 or 5 different books, photography.
Yeah, I got a dry board behind me, and I already have volume 1, volume 2, volume 3.
Yeah.
That's like I've got 27 book ideas.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I would totally buy them.
Well, thank you. So like the only thing is now is like either trying to find a publisher or going self-publication. So I'm like, which one do I want to do? And the few publishers that I've actually talked to, they want all the rights to the photographs. And I'm like, yeah, no.
That's the only thing I liked about Outskirts is it's a flat rate, but you are doing you can pay for someone to help edit and stuff, but you pick your format, but then you have the rights, like you get the royalties, and you set the price too. They give you guidance on the price, but you set it.
Yeah, so that was kind of like what I was trying to, which I'm going to ultimately reach out to everybody else. You're kind of already telling me about it, but I'm trying to figure out, what's the best way, especially for a photographic book versus an actual literature, which aspect is better in that regard, So, and I already know.
Is it something that would go Kindle or no? Because you're not reading it, but would people purchase it on something like that?
That's one thing I don't know, because I do have some stories along with the photographs. So, you are technically reading, I could share this photograph with you now, but like I have a photo of when I was in the Philippines, and there's this lady who's pregnant and she's standing next to the shore and she's taking a bath, but at the same time she's taking a bath with the water. You can see all the trash and all the waste that's right there, but she's homeless and has nowhere else to go and nowhere to shower, nowhere to that. So she's like actually cleaning herself there. And I took that photograph, and it's so powerful because like the American embassy is literally 50 yards away. And you can see just all the litter right there. They're all homeless. And if you turn around, they have like a big concrete area, kind of like almost like a sidewalk. And her family, she has 3 boys and then she's pregnant. They actually dug like a hole or a little cave underneath the sidewalk, and that's where they have their home. So they're like literally living underneath the concrete, right next to the American embassy, and it's all toxic waste, and they're all getting showered there and all this other stuff. And I sit there and I wrote the story about, how I try to offer them money, but then my tour guide was like, hey, you can't do that, because if those men down the road see you give them money, they will come over here and they will take that money from them and just who knows what to them in order to get that. So it was just like a big eye-opening experience and all this other stuff. So I did write about that type of story and what I photographed. So there is something there that you can just actually get the Kindle and download, which do it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Sounds amazing. I'm so intrigued now. So please do that.
Yeah.
Rolling for me, please.
She's an amazing photographer. And I was telling her how you helped with my book with doing the pictures.
Your book was fun. Your book was fun because I really didn't know what you were expecting to do, and I was like, I don't know what she's expecting to do. So I pretty much just winged it. You're like, have this. I'm like, okay,
your first time, you look back and you're like, man, I regret this, or I should have done this different. There's so much I wish I'd done different with that, but you just live and learn and move on to the next one.
pretty much, yeah, that's all you can do. Because I mean, I imagine after I'm done with this first book, I'm gonna look back on it and I'm like, oh shit, man.
Because you see typos and like I'm like, damn, there's a typo there, a typo there. And you can pay them to re-edit it, but they charge you like $500 or something.
Man, it is good that Jordan is so, how do you say, what's the word?
Anal.
She's on the grammar side, and she was like, "You have a lot of mistakes here," and I'm like, "Well, that's why I'm marrying you, so you can just be my editor. I'll write it, and I'll just turn the laptop towards her. I'm like, what do you think about this?" And then she'll just like fix it for me. I'm like, thanks, that's all I needed.
Yeah, you don't have to pay anybody to edit your shit.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm gonna put down. I was like, I'm gonna put your name down for editor of the book too. So
But grammar Nazi and put her name. No, I'm sure.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's funny. That's hilarious. A little school teacher, a grammar teacher.
Yeah, all right.
She's a bookworm too, so I mean, she reads a lot.
And you do learn a lot from reading a book, how to write and so that is very helpful. I try to tell my youngest that all the time, but she doesn't listen. So
I can't stay still long enough to sit there and read. Like if I'm reading and like something's like happening over here on this side, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go over there.
Girl?
Yeah, pretty much. If I can, I mean, that's why that workout, that 75 hard was. I mean, it was the hardest part. I could do the workouts. I could drink those gallons of water, but the one thing that got me was the reading. Because like I was just like, I'm sitting there trying to read, and I'm like, oh, my brain will just start going. Hey, you need to do this. Hey, it's almost time for this. Hey, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to edit this. I don't got time to the rest. A couple of paragraphs, and I'm like, all right, cool.
That's funny. Hilarious. Well, John, we are coming up on the time.
Yeah, that's fast.
I know it flew. It really flew. Before we wrap, you got any questions, Lisa, for John?
I mean, come to the jail. I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean,
even look, not just for the haunted aspect, but your photography, because it really is
that would actually be
beautiful historical place.
Yeah, if photographic, I mean, just give me a date and I can just go over there and take some photographs of it. I mean,
okay.
The history behind it is really, really interesting. Do you know the history behind her jail?
Mm-mm.
You should give them a little rundown while we're at the end here.
Well, just real quick. I mean, it was built in 1885. Real quick here.
Lisa, she kills me.
I am a hoot. I'll give you that. No, it was 1885 to 2005. We're the second longest continually running jail in Texas.
Wow.
We house 2 different cells, some from the 1874 and then some from 1976. So it kind of shows like 100-year span between jail technology. We've got the booking room, sheriff's parlor, sheriff's office, sheriff's bedroom, kitchen, full kitchen, bathroom, all kinds of stuff. It's a very historical place with lots of history. We had a gallows there at one time, a cemetery in the back that washed away. Just a lot of small town justice. It's a very tiny town, Hallettsville. It's a very tiny town. So, just a lot of history. So
I love all those little rooms too. When you go in there, you can just feel the energy. It's crazy.
It's like a museum. I mean, we have some display cases with a lot of items found there, items that were donated to us. So there's more to it than just like this abandoned, haunted jail. So there's a lot more to it. And it's a very active location. So there's that too. So.
Yeah, if anything, taking photographs of buildings like that is more appealing to me than actually investigating to them. I just photography is just a passion of mine, and I always tell people, like, if I'm going to investigate a building, I'm going to photograph it first. But while I'm photographing, it's like almost everything is just blacked out, and I don't pay attention to shit because I am like focusing on the shot. I'm looking for different angles. I'm looking for details, on the wood, on the floors, and stuff like that. So I don't pay attention to anything, and it always gets on my nerve when like I'm collaborating with somebody And then after I'm done photographing, they're like, "So, what did you think of the building? What'd you pick up?" And I'm like, "I have no idea." I was like, "I'm just trying to photo." I'm like, "The building, yeah."
That's just need to have a little recorder running in your pocket, see if you catch any EVPs while you're, doing your thing. Because I know a lot of people have had that when we're just giving regular tours, not haunted tours, but historical, and there's shit happening.
Yeah, and it's right in the middle of the conversation too. Like, I didn't say that.
Yep.
Didn't your roofers? She had the roof just replaced. It seemed like they couldn't even last there or stay to that or something.
No, they drove back to Austin and drove back every single day because they're like,
really?
Yeah. So for a week, the roofers drove from Austin to Hallettsville every day. So
that's crazy.
They're like, we are not
That's
staying.
So
how, like 3 hours?
Yeah. So how far is it from me? Like Temple.
Temple to Hallettsville, I would have to look. I'm not 100%.
You're probably an hour north of me, right?
Where are you?
I'm in Georgetown.
Georgetown? Yeah, about 35, 40 minutes from you.
Yeah, you're about 2.5 hours from here.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay.
So, no, not at all.
Yeah, I mean if
it's
you're
a really cool little town. It's a very historical town. The courthouse, which is right down the street, is freaking beautiful. Very historic as well. So yeah, even for photos, just to come out and visit, say hi,
Gotcha.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, if you like to photograph it, I can always photograph it. I love, like I said, that's one thing that I love to do. So,
Sweet. Well, maybe we can coordinate, and Lisa can come down too, and we can all.
I know. I keep saying I need to make another trip.
Yeah, I'll talk to Jordan and see.
We jack around so much. We jack around so much. We say we're going to do an investigation, and then we don't.
We never do. We just get drunk and just talk shit. So yeah.
We go eat and whatever. We just end up doing other shit and screwing around.
Yeah.
Do that.
Not like that.
No. I meant like we can go eat and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, let's go do that.
Oh, okay. I thought you were being a pervert. I was like, John.
Come on, I'm going to be married here. Come on now.
True. He's on the straight and narrow now.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Well, it's good having you on. We'll have to bring you on again sometime, especially if you write a book or do the. I don't know. Do you call it a photograph book, or what do you call it when you add photos?
I guess it's just a photography book, I guess, but I'm still working on the details as far as. I know it's going to be like a wide, can't even see my hands. I'm showing you, but like, it's like a wider book. It's not like a regular.
Yeah. I've got a few. I can picture it looking
like a coffee table book.
Yeah, there you go. Like a coffee table book. There you go.
Let's share it with us. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I imagine by sometime next year, I should have it done because I know I only got 2 more months to the wedding, and then. September, I'm just going to be super busy. October, we're going to be super busy. And
oh, yeah.
Then it's Thanksgiving and Christmas.
I would say 2 years, at least 2 more years.
Oh, no. I cannot wait that long. No way. That's if I'm writing the book. But this is all pictures.
Yeah, true. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming on with us. And then I guess. Yeah, and then I don't even remember. I'm supposed to know when the next show is. What is it? Saturday? The Love Shack.
Saturday or Sunday?
Love Shack, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 Central. So that'll be this Saturday. So if you guys want to tune in, that'll be the next show, and then we'll be on the first Tuesday of September.
August.
No, John-John's August. We're pre-recording.
Oh, that's right. I lied. Look, okay, just.
I'm sorry if I threw you guys off.
It's throwing her off. We don't pre-record a whole lot anymore.
I am so ready for vacation. A beer and vacation, okay? That's all.
She's in vacation mode.
Yes, I'm on vacation mode. Sorry.
No problem.
All right. Well, and those. So website. Go to your website. So John, your website's under. What was it under again? Is it under Dark?
So on Facebook, on my paranormal page, it is Dark Explorers Paranormal on Facebook. And if you're interested in my photographs, I would just send you to Instagram, and that is John Photos 33.
All right. Thank you.
Awesome.
Adios.
Thank